I made a video very recently about why it's important to step up as a man, and I came to that conclusion in conjunction with the fact that I need to have a change in mentality, right? I've spoken many different times about how at this age we're at a weird spot. We're in an awkward position because we're just coming out of the education system. Maybe you're not even in college, but we're still trying to find our feet as young men, right? And it's that chasm between you being a child and being like a real man, but we haven't had enough time to become that man, right? And all you can do at this point is change your mentality. Stop thinking like you are like a real man. Stop thinking like you're a father. You're someone with like responsibility. Again, the voluntary responsibility I'm talking about. It's also something, something like Andrew Tate's been speaking about in the last, 2 years that he's blown up, right? And there was a clip that I remember where Tristan was actually speaking about a conversation he had with Andrew at 21. And he was speaking about like I think he was speaking about video games or whatever, and then Andrew was just like, well, it doesn't matter, does it? Right? Like that doesn't affect our life. And Tristan, from like that moment onwards, he was like, yeah, and he took on that mentality. And it's something you should take on as well. Like if you are someone who's actually got things going on in your life, you've got work to do, you've got, again, watch my video on taking on voluntary responsibility or stepping up as a man. Even if you don't have that responsibility of having a family now, you still need to think like that man, right? You've got people to take care of. You've got things to do. You can't. Why do you care about all this stuff? It's something you need to ask yourself whenever you're getting involved in a lot of things, and it'll cut out a lot of fluff when you take on this mentality, right? It starts off with like things like arguments. I learned this a while ago, right? Like political arguments and just arguments in general are a waste of time, because you're both going in with no intention of like listening to the other person or having your mind change. It's like, I'm going to go and prove to this person that they're wrong and I'm right. And I realized, they're a waste of time, because you're never going to change someone's mentality. It's just a game of like, oh, who can debate better, but it doesn't mean anything, right? And that extends to just a lot of things in your life. Why do you care about, like, I know, like for me, I'm in South Africa, for example, right? I mean, this applies in general, like wherever you're from. But like, I watch like, it's very difficult not to get caught up in like U.S. politics. There was like the Ukraine and Russia war and all of that. And I'm hearing all these. I'm very conservative, right? So I watch, your Patrick Bet-David and that Daily Wire people, Jordan Peterson and all of that. But it's like, I'm not living in America right now. Why do I care that Joe Biden is flipping subsidizing all the student debt and how stupid that is, and oh, the economy is going to drop, America's going to pay for that, right? Because you can't just do that. Why do I care? One, I'm not living in America. Two, it doesn't affect me. And that applies to like all politics in general, even politics like in South Africa where I live. I've never been like that interested in politics until like the last couple of years, because the wokeism has just been going everywhere, and you need to stand up to it, right? But like, I've never been interested in politics because I've been like, it doesn't really matter. And I know this is kind of an anti-patriotic view, because it's like, every vote counts, and all of that. But like in general, you watching all these stories about politicians, it's not really changing your life. Like, it doesn't matter for me. And I heard Iman say this again, where he was basically saying, he was saying like along this the same kind of line. It's like, don't worry about like everything that's going on. Like, you need to save yourself, which is basically like, start your business, make like 10K a month, whatever it is. Then you save your family and friends. Then you can start worrying about other people, right? But it's like, you can't do anything until you have everything in your life going for you, right? And that's the mentality you should be taking. Why do you care about so many things? And this doesn't just apply, again, I said this should apply to all the parts of your life, right? Not just politics, but also the celebrity beefs. Like, again, why do you care about celebrities? Why do you care about what's going on with this celebrity and that? It doesn't affect your life, and it's not going to change your life. It's kind of pathetic, right? Even like to an extent, again, this applies with self-improvement YouTubers, even like Andrew Tate and all of that. It's like, bro, you know what you need to do. Like, unless you just discovered self-improvement like yesterday, you know what you need to do, right? Unless it's like very deliberate. Like, I'm watching a Chris Williamson podcast, because he's interviewing someone and they're speaking about like specific productivity hacks that I might not have heard before. Or, I'm watching Jordan Peterson. I just want to learn about like this topic. Unless it's very deliberate like that, which most of the time it's not. You're just watching for entertainment. Why are you watching an Andrew Tate vlog? Right? Okay, maybe you might rationalize yourself and be like, okay, I'm going to watch the Patrick Bet-David and Andrew Tate podcast because But again, even that, why are you watching that? There's nothing new you're gonna learn there except, oh, this is what the Matrix is trying to do to Andrew Tate and all of that. For the most part, you're not learning anything new. You know what you need to do, so why are you watching that? You know you're watching for entertainment. And again, I don't expect you to just take on this mentality and be like, oh, I'm not gonna watch this because it doesn't affect my life, right? The first step is, getting aware. Just being aware, like, okay, yes, I'm watching this Andrew Tate podcast, but tell yourself, like, I know this is not for educational purposes. I'm not going to learn anything new really from this podcast. I'm just watching it for entertainment purposes, right? And that's fine. Like, acknowledge it first. Then over time, you want to get rid of that. You just want to. That's another reason I kind of stopped watching sports. And I know sports is a very controversial topic around this thing, and I've heard it in the self-improvement space. I first heard it a year ago. I heard First Man, he was speaking about it, and Hamza even hinted at it. And it's very controversial because it's you're a grown man, why are you watching sports, right? But again, there's a difference between you can still enjoy the sport. I'll still watch maybe I'll watch Champions League final. I didn't watch this Champions League final because I knew Man City were gonna win. I'm a United fan. I don't want to watch that. But you can watch for the enjoyment of just the sport. But once you make that your personality, or it's I remember 2020. Oh my goodness, this was the most passionate I'd been about sport, about Man United, and I remember we were in an intense top 4 race, and I remember going to sleep excited. Okay, I'm so excited. United are playing tomorrow. Oh, our full team is back. Pogba's back from injury, and I was so excited. I'm we need to win, right? Again, that it's a bit. Again, why am I getting excited for a game I'm not even playing? But again, you can get excited for a good game of football you want to watch. That's fine. But then I remember I'm watching. Right? And okay, a team scores, you're happy. That's fine. But then I remember we drop points, and the next day I'd wake up feeling bad. I'm bro, it doesn't affect your life. I woke up feeling I lost the game, right? Or when we win, I'd wake up the next day feeling on top of the moon. I'm we won. I'm and for me, I'm not even the worst. You get those people with tattoo, a club name on their body somewhere, or those people who buy, they spend, oh my goodness, they spend. How much is a season ticket? I think it's 1,000. No. Yeah, it's £1,000 for a season ticket or something. Again, if you're going to watch, it's fine. But you can tell their moods are getting changed by how the team is playing. Their lives are getting affected. Can you imagine the wives of those guys? They know oh, if the team wins, he's gonna be in a good mood today. But if the team loses, I'm he's gonna be a bit scary. I don't want to be around. Can you imagine being that kind of father? Your wife and kids are they desperately want your team to win because they don't want you to be in a bad mood when you come back home. How pathetic is that, right? And you don't want to that mentality applies to everything. Why? I understand you care about football, it's nice. I love football. It's nice. I love playing it, and even just watching people at the top level playing it, that's fine. But when you get to a point where the team scores and you're going onto Instagram and you're commenting in the comment section oh, this player is better than this player. See, I told you. It doesn't matter, right? You're buying a shirt with another man's name and you're putting that on your back. You're pretending, oh, I'm wearing a Ronaldo shirt. I'm Ronaldo. What? That's so pathetic. Why are you doing that? Right? And that kind of thing just applies to everything in general, right? And also just other things when you go out and you care about what people think of you, why do you care? For the most part, I'm not saying to have a mentality where it's oh, you go out looking like a bum or whatever, but at the same time, if you're confident in what you're wearing and then you see someone, or you're not getting the attention you want, it's why do you care? Especially from if you go to the club and you want to get attention from, I know women do this, but also guys do it. You want to get attention from hoes basically, but you don't want to marry that. I know for me, I don't want to marry a hoe. I don't think anyone wants to marry a hoe. I want to marry a high quality woman. But at the same time, if I go out and a woman who definitely looks like one of those girls, and if I get attention from her, it's oh, I get an ego boost. It's why? You don't even care. That doesn't affect your life, right? You're not gonna marry her. You probably don't even want her in your life. So why do I care what she thinks? And you need to start thinking about that broadly. You're going out and you're not, certain people, someone says something to you and you don't really care about that person. Why do you care? Right? Or an old person looks at you sideways. Why do you care? Just start thinking about that. Just basic, like a lot of things. And once you start doing that, you'll realize you're cutting out all the fluff and you're just focusing on the things that matter in your life. And that's the point I'm trying to get across in this video. But yeah, make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, see you boys.